Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm going to be covering silver. I'm going to be covering a few reasons why I like silver. But first, I'm just going to show you a couple of the ways that people can buy or hold silver. Obviously, you can just go out and buy the SLV. You can buy the silver futures. But one of the better ways, of course, is to get your hands on the rounds. If you can get the silver rounds for as cheap as possible. These are, what are they, around 23, 24 bucks right now. They're cool. You can give them away. You can play with them. You can look at them, of course. You can make jewelry out of them. And then the other way, you could also, you could buy a bunch of them, as many as you want. They're good for bartering or trading. Then you've got these 100 ounce bars. They're also very cool. You can lift weights with them. You could take them on walks. It's a joke. But when you hold one, there's just something comforting about the weight. Look how shiny that is, very reflective. That's why it's so useful in industrial applications. But it's physical. You can hold it and it's real. If you're trying to store value, there's something about holding the value. If you work for a certain amount of hours and you get currency and you're like, what do I do with it? I don't need it. I don't want to spend it. You can convert it into this stuff, and then for hundreds of years this stuff has been traded and valued, and it has historically done better than the paper stuff. I'm not saying it will always do well, but there are times when it's cheap and there are times when it's expensive. Let me go now and I'll jump into the charts and give you some more information and some more data. Alright, I'm going to be going between SLV, the ETF, the fund, the exchange traded fund, in multiple time frames, and I'm also going to cover the futures contract. I might also cover the dollar, but the first thing I want to show, and the most important thing that I think that made me want to do this video currently, is that I think by now you should have known that silver did have a mean crack below $15, $13 on the SLV, and then went up all the way to 26, more than doubling. And currently it's been consolidating and taking a pause. And what is happening in the last week or two is we're finally seeing some bullish action. And it's bullish because what I have here is a series of moving averages. I have a 20-day simple moving average, I have a 50-day simple moving average, and I have a 200-day simple moving average. And what we're starting to see is that price is above all of them. Okay, so it's beginning to create a new trend, and I believe it's going to start to march higher to test these recent highs around 26. The futures are going to be a little higher. I'm just going to focus on the SLV for now, but this is a very strong signal when you have the moving averages turning up, the 20 and 50 crossing up, when you have the price above the, let me close that up, when you have price above the 20 and the 50 for the first time. That's a very bullish signal. So silver right now is giving us a clue, is making us suspect that a new bull trend is happening because it's getting above higher prices. It should, if it's going to continue to do this, it's going to create a series of higher highs and higher lows. Now, it is possible for it to just test the 26 level and fail. That is possible. But maybe if it creates a bull move, maybe it'll do something more. If we look at the, let's go jump to the monthly. Let me move this around. If you look at the monthly time frame, we're at around 24. And this is that move, that breakout move. Let me just hide that. The reason the current period is so significant is that the last time we did this was 2009. And I'll pull up maybe the future soon for more data, but if you look when the moving averages crossed last on the monthly, there was a big old move from 15 to almost 50. So that's a triple, okay? But more importantly, what we saw was a trend, a bull trend that didn't stop because there was no resistance for a while up until 50. It seems to be we might be having something similar. We're testing that old resistance around 26, 27. We tested once in the last few months, and then we pulled back, and we're waiting to see what happens. If there's a strong move, if there's a strong bull trend, that will be tested, and we'll see what's going to happen from there. I'm going to switch to the futures real quick. And as you can see here, in the late 70s and early 80s, there was a huge spike. I'll switch to the area bar or area lines. There was a huge spike, and the high was around, the actual high was around 41. And in the 2011 spike, we got to there and a little bit further. However, gold, which also behaved similarly, not only tested those highs, it doubled above that. The old high in gold was 1,000 for a long time. It was near 1,000. We broke through that and doubled, okay? And silver didn't do that. Silver only went to the highs. So if we plot the ratio of silver in terms of gold, silver is quite cheap. Even right now that it's more than doubled, it's quite cheap, relatively cheap compared to gold. In 2011, the ratio hit whatever it hit, 0.03. It went above as high to 0.05 in the early 80s. And we're right now, my head's blocking it, but it's at 0.01. So there's a lot of room for silver to rebalance with gold. So I just want to point that out there, that I think the next time silver hits that 50 level, I don't think we stop there, because gold is higher than silver, and some of that non-dollar money, that total market cap value, should play catch up in silver. People will be more willing excuse me, they'll be more willing to own the silver relative to gold, because historically silver around 25 is still cheap. Silver around 50 for the third time would be a huge bull market potentially that people may want to stick around with and participate with, especially when you factor in all the potential inflation that may be going around, which isn't going around yet. So let me go back to this candlestick. We're on the futures now still, and the futures show the same thing, that we have moving averages crossing, price above all moving averages, price making new highs, and threatening to go higher. So that's the major summary of this video and why I'm putting it out. If you look at the last time we were from below and going above all moving averages, that's when silver was around 15. Once it broke out, created a nice big massive bull trend. It ended up basically doubling. So best case scenario, huge bull move in silver. I don't know where it's going to go. I have no idea. It might double top. It might double in price. I have no idea. I cannot predict the future. I have no idea. But the way I'm going to treat it is it's going to be a bull move, and I'm going to follow it with a stop. So typically either below the moving averages or below the support is where you would want to be scared. So probably somewhere around there, and luckily the 200-day moving averages. So as long as silver futures stays above in the 20s, that's about where my mental stop would be. Below 20 would be bad. However, it is silver metal. Silver metal will retain its value over hundreds of years because it's still useful. So there is that to give us comfort. Is there anything else I want to cover? Let me just jump to the weekly. That's just a picture of the weekly. The weekly does have bullish action. And we are in fact above all the moving averages. So as long as we're staying bullish, we're above all the moving averages, and we don't take out the support of 22, the trend is intact. I'm going to go over to the UUP. I'm sorry, the dollar. I'm not looking at the UUP. And we look at the monthly time frame on the dollar futures. So the dollar has been weak. It's below on the daily, it's below all the moving averages. There is a chance the dollar does get a spike, but there's so much work for the dollar to do to build the bullish case that we will see it happen as it takes out those moving averages, which are all above. So that would be bad for commodities, including metals, unless it's very bearish, which could be good. The other risk is that the way the dollar is falling, it continues to fall. We have support, which is below. We're at 90, low 90, and the support would be at low 88. And the next supports are down below. There is a risk that the dollar gets continued selling, which would be good for metals because they're a store of value. There's many reasons why the dollar could get weak. All we know right now is that it is weak. There is no sign of strength yet. There's no buying yet, and it has a lot of work to do before this becomes supported. There's no support as of yet. We're coming close to support, but it's very interesting. If you look at where this dollar stopped falling and then went up, it's probably close to how silver reacted. So we'll have to stay tuned. I wonder if I can run the yeah, it doesn't do very much because it's already priced in. Here's the UUP. We've got this bull trend and it looks like it's breaking down. So if the dollar continues to break that trend line, that will be bad for dollar. Who knows where the support will be. If you look at silver futures, there's not necessarily the same trend, probably in gold, but this will end up looking like some kind of a bull flag, potentially, if it continues to rally higher. All we really care about is that it's showing strength and it's above all the moving averages, and the moving averages are crossing up. That's the only signal we care about. We'll have to watch it for the next couple of weeks, but the last time this happened, 2020 May, that lasted a few months. about 4 to 5 months. So we'll see. We would hope that this cross will be bullish for the next few months. As long as it stays above those levels, which is the moving averages at 24 and the support at 22, then that's all we need to worry about for the next few weeks. If you have any questions, let me know. I won't go over any option strategies or anything like that. I think this one is better just done with SLV or silver for those who are interested in doing that on their own after you do your own research. But like obviously I'm a fan. Straight up owned outright. Cheers.